Hello and welcome to the live stream, and as I'm sure most of you already know, update 1.17 dropped for Gran Turismo 7, and as well as some well needed fixes, some other treats, mainly 3 new cars which are coming tomorrow, strangely enough, not today, but tomorrow we'll have a look at those. But the other big feature was a new track, and it is Watkins Glen International, which is a USA track, and this is just north, or a couple of 100 miles north of New York, so it's an East Coast track. And that said, let's jump straight in and we'll have a look at the new track. Okay. Now in this particular race, which is a AI race or a single player race, we have got times 7 fuel, times 10 tyres, a choice of all of the tyres to use. I have already done a couple of laps of this track, and I watched some streams earlier on today by some of the other guys, and it's definitely hard on tyres, so we're going to be going racing hard, and we're going to have to make a fuel stop, at least one fuel stop as it is. First place is 200,000, so fingers crossed we'll finish quite well, and we'll have a look at what the new track looks like. So here goes. In my car, my usual livery. As I'm sure most of you know by now that watch me, I'm racing in the DBR9, which I very nearly put off the track. Now the Watkins, I'm going to have to get used to saying that, the Watkins Glen International Circuit in real life has 2 variations, as it does in this game. One of which, not very often you see the AI going off, of course. And as I was saying, has 2 variations. It has a long or full length version, and it has the shorter version. Now, the shorter version, not the one that this race is on, the part that's missing is what's referred to as the boot. Now, you can't quite see it on that mini-map picture, but if you look at some of the other mini-maps, you can see why. That the section that's missing, the lower section of the map, is quite literally shaped like a boot. Oh, a bit heavy on the brakes there. Into 10, and this car's definitely a little LP for this race. He says as he absolutely puts it into the barriers. What an absolute tool. And by the look of it, they don't have car damage in this particular race. Oh, come on, come on. Penalty, I got pushed off the track. Harsh. Even if I do say so myself. Oh, you could hear the tyres on that BMW struggling. There we go, there we go. And here's the penalty line. Half second. Okay, that didn't affect me too badly. Break. Throw a cheeky one up the inside. And what I have forgot to do is I should have changed my fuel map. Now, you can run this race two ways. You can actively fuel save, i.e. constantly keep changing your fuel setting up and down, or you can do just set it onto one setting, and if you're using the hard tyres, that'll be a one-stop race round about lap 5 or lap 6, depending on how hard or what, depending how much damage you do to your hard tyres. You could always run the softs, but they last about 2 to 3 laps if you're lucky. So in this race, a 10 lap race, you'd have to pit twice, you'd have no choice, your tyres will be completely gone. I've never been a big fan of the fuel saving races. I do like strategy, I do like races that use fuel. I just rather keep my fuel map on one, floor it, race, if you excuse the phrase, race my arse off till I have to stop, refuel and then go again. Granted, not always the best strategy, but it seems to work for me. Now if we get back onto the actual, at the course itself, like with most of the courses in Gran Turismo, it's very pretty, the graphics are nice, but this one, whether they've actually done a little more with this, or whether it's just the fact that Watkins Glen is a very pretty track in real life. This is gorgeous. I mean, the sun, lovely and blue, which I guess is nice, but there's so much colour. You look at the tents at the side, all the colours there, all the people, the spectators. Oh, heavy. That will teach me to not concentrate. There we go, that's better. And floor it. I mean, GT7 is a very pretty game. It's not necessarily as technically accurate when it comes to being a sim as, say, the big boys, i.e. iRacing or even ACC. But it is, for what it is, bloody good looking. I mean, it is, look at the detail to the side of the track. I went to point then, like you wouldn't even see where I was pointing, but as I'm looking, trying to look at the sides and not trying to crash at the same time, there seems to be more detail off the track, sort of where the spectators are, where the stands are, all the details down the side there when you look to the side on the pits. It just seems like there's more. It's hard to explain. It almost makes it feel more believable. Like it is. I mean, I know it is a real track in real life, but I mean, maybe it's the fact that obviously I'm using steering wheel and pedals, which I'm still not completely used to after spending so many years of racing games using controllers, it still feels just a little bit weird to be using an actual steering wheel and actual pedals. Feels nice. And I'll be honest, I would probably be actually doing a bit better if I weren't spending so much time looking at the track, looking at the details of the trees, looking how many people are on the side of a grass embankment. Like, all up there, and you can see caravans. I mean, that is obviously a camping site where I guess in real life spectators would go and spend a weekend in camp. And it's the fact that Polyphony have put those details into the game. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. Oh, easy Tiger. As you can see, I mean, I was running hard tyres. I've only done 5 laps and they've already obviously showing signs of wear. The fact that I'm quite heavy on the throttle probably doesn't help. Some of the top guys, the top split drivers, they could probably make the tyres last a lot longer. They may even get away with doing hards and then a stint on the softs for this race. If I had to race softs, I'd be in the pits after 2 laps every time. Lap 6, so, and if you look, I've less than a quarter of a tank of fuel now, so I think I'll pit at the end of this lap. Not that I'm going to have a great deal of choice because I'll have no fuel left. I would love to drive this track in real life. It is so flowy, if that's a phrase. It's a very nice track to drive. I mean, I've said it before in my other videos and other streams, but Monza has always been my favourite circuit. Even with the deadly chicane at the end of a start-finish straight, I've always loved Monza. It's a great circuit, I love to drive it. It's fast and yet it's technical. It's just, and it's a great looking track. But you know, I think I might have changed my mind. I actually think in fact, I'm fairly certain I prefer this. Right, hard tyres, leave it to fuel. I love this track. Sorry I keep stopping, I just keep looking at all the details in the background. Like the marshals and the mechanics walking around in the background. Just so much going on. It feels alive. And I really love this new camera shots and camera angles when you're coming in and out of the pits. Again, it just that little bit more detail that just adds that little extra layer of immersion. And we're back in control. 4 laps to go. That feels better. There's some tyres have actually got some rubber left on them. Ooh, there's a bit of braking spot. There we go, there we go, there we go. Now, right. Bit too ambitious there. Not sure if you noticed when we passed that little sort of junction, that's where the short version of the track, where you wouldn't come down this bit, you'd have carried straight on. I'll point it out again when we come there next time. In fact, on the next lap, I'll try and do a little bit of the track guide. That way I'm not getting over myself. It's not going to be the sort of track guide like you would get from the likes of Key or Super GT or Tidgney. I'm not going to try and teach you how to go faster, because a lot of you guys could probably go faster than me anyway, but I will sort of describe the track as I'm going around it, assuming I don't stuff it into a wall of the barriers. Okay, so you come around that final bend, obviously onto start finish straight. Pit entrance will be difficult. It's a very long pit entrance. Brake about the 200 metre mark, or so, for me anyway. Then it's hit the apex, sweeping right, keep to the left here, but then obviously come around to right, up the hill. Now be careful when you go across here, because obviously the weight of the car will shift. As you go over the brow of the hill, the steering of the car will become a lot lighter, and if you're not careful, you'll end up putting it in a wall. As you're coming up to the chicane, apply the brakes so about the 300 metre mark, maybe just a little bit earlier than I did there. This very big sweeping right-hander, you can take about half throttle. Brake at the 200 metre mark to 90 left, but still quite quick. Pair on, little run down the hill. Brake about halfway between the first and second barrier. And then as soon as you see the corner of that fence, then you can start to apply the throttle again. Up the hill, over the brow, apply the brakes even, at around about the 200 metre mark. And this one, if you brake just as that 200 metre sign goes off the screen, keep a little bit of power on. This next is the 90 left, but because you're going so slow, you don't need to slow down all the way for it. You don't even have to brake, you can let the car roll around the corner. Apply the brake again, got a quick or 90-degree turn, and that is your lap over. And across the line we go. Oh, gone deep, gone deep, gone deep. Love that section, very reminiscent of the Silverstone, with the sweeping left, right, left, high speed. You can feel the car sort of there, that little right hand turn there that was barriered off. That would be where the short version of the track takes you. So you wouldn't come down this bit, you'd go down there. Whoa. That's excuse me, my throat's quite sore. Because we're having some very hot, or by our standards, very hot weather here in the UK at the moment. I've got the fan on in my room, and it's giving me a very dry throat. Well, at least that's my excuse anyway for having a cheeky one, shall we say. And we're coming up to the last lap. I do hope, I really do hope that they put this track as one of the daily races next week. Judging by what Polyphony have done before, when they have released a new track, it's always been one of the dailies. I hope they do it again, because I really want to be driving this track excuse me, driving this track against human players. Because as you can see, 37 on seconds ahead of the guy. Not that good. If that was a human player. I love this track. I really love this track. I know we've given Polyphony some stick over the last couple of months, and deservedly so. You know, they've made some whoppers. Yeah, and the fixes they've made today, especially the fixes for the lobby system. Oh yes, they're back on form. This is going to give a big boost to Gran Turismo 7, exactly when it needs it, because they've done good with this one. They've done really good. And there we go, eventually, across the line. First place. Definitely won't be getting the clean race bonus. Yeah, see, 59 seconds ahead of the competition. Nice comfortable win for playing against the AI. Maybe doing this in lobbies could actually change it up a bit. Obviously play against some other people. Maybe even in a custom race. Set this one up as a custom race. Pick your own AI and maybe put them all in group 2 cars or something, or even apply BLP. I mean, look at the graphics on that. That is beautiful. So much detail in the background. I could just sit and watch this. I don't have to race. I could just sit and watch a replay of my own races. I love it. Well, I'd love it. It wouldn't be that interesting for you guys. But saying that, I hope you enjoyed this video and maybe your first view of the new Watkins Glen International track. Thank you very much for watching. If you guys could hit the like and subscribe buttons, I would really appreciate it. And I will see you in the next video.